sure that our parks are safer. And there's a lot that can be done in the parks. I actually walked every single park this fall and the summer and talked to a lot of the neighbors about the parks. There's a lot of stakeholders around the parks that are not being engaged, so I would love to talk to them, organize them, and engage them to do more cleanups. But more importantly, we need eyes there, and we need lighting. There's a lot of lighting problems in our parks. You know, just drive by any day at Pulaski or Kazi or many of the various parks, and we have lighting issues. That's one of the main issues. Also, we need to do, we need to do more organizing and get more stakeholders involved. Thank you.
Thank you very much. When I joined the county board in 2004, there was not a park rangers program. There is one now. In the 2015 budget, the targeted enforcement unit, which patrols our parks, was slated to be eliminated, and I actually sponsored the resolution that saved that unit. So park safety is extremely important to me. Public safety is extremely important to me. I have a very good relationship with the Milwaukee Police Department at District 2. I sponsored the open house. I've also helped them create over 180 black watches in our district. And that's really how there's a park watch at Kosciuszko Park. We have more activities in our park now. Mitchell Park has the football field, and that's really how you help with security in our parks, is by getting people into our parks. And so I've been very grateful to the Clark Square Initiative for revamping the pavilion there, Journey House for the work they've done in the Mitchell Park, and for the Walker Square Association for all the work that they do, because really that is how we keep areas safe, is by having people active and engaged in the parks and being able to identify when something isn't right.
Woo! Yeah.
We're going to start with Peggy on this next one, and it's a very related issue. You both touched on it a little bit. How would you get more sheriff and park rangers to have more presence in the Southside parks like Pulaski Park, especially since there's been such a huge increase in drug use and even, riding of ATVs at the park, and cars driving on the courts, etc.
Pulaski Park, although it's not in our district, it is right across the street from our district. And so park safety, period, is something that we need to look at. The acting sheriff, Sheriff Schmidt, is committed to public safety, and the sheriff has actually taken a lot of pride in the parks then and now. And so one of the things, again, that we need to do is make sure that we continue to fund the sheriff and make sure that they have the deputies to do the work. I was very proud in 2016 to be able to sponsor legislation that allowed for the hiring of 100 new sheriff's deputies. That was the first time in 11 years that we were able to hire deputies, and we need to continue to do that, because without our sheriff's deputies, we don't have the manpower that it takes to get into the parks and to make sure that they're safe. And again, the park rangers, we need to increase that. We've also taken a look at using volunteers to do some of the park ranger duties, which I think is great, again, because it gets people active and involved in their parks.
Thank you for the question. The parks are really important to me. And as a kid, I remember the 4th of July celebration. It wasn't extravagant. They used to have at Kazi Park, and it's gone now. I mean, there's so many things that we need to do for our parks. We need more activities in our parks. That is how we're going to keep the eyes on it. For example, Ace Boxing Club does a really good job of patrolling Kosciuszko Park. And so we have a really good anchor there. We need to build anchors in other parks. And that's going to take time, it's going to take work, it's going to take talking to the residents and organizing. And I think that is also a part of the job of the county supervisor. There is so much talent in our community, and our youth really need more activities. And if I could be a part of that, then I would love that. Thank you.
Yeah, answer the question.
Okay, beginning with Sylvia. What is the county's role in ensuring cleanliness and preventing reducing blight? Example, litter, garbage, dumping in the neighborhoods, bus shelter garbage and litter, the frequency of the cleanups?
Put it down.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize it started with me. I think we've kind of touched on some of these issues, both of us have. For the parks, of course, it is a responsibility for us to, organize and build stakeholders and find the stakeholders and make sure that our parks are being clean, and on a regular basis. Try to find people to adopt the park. I actually, over this fall, have adopted Walker Square and cleaned at least for several months during the fall before the snow came. So we need to find people who can make the effort to do the work. I'm not really sure, about the transit, but I would expect that's a good idea. Actually, that would be a good idea to have volunteers go to the bus shelters and clean up. I know I clean up all the time around my property, and I encourage other people to continue cleaning, and I do participate in whatever cleanups that I can participate. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So in regards to blight and litter, the Milwaukee County in your everyday neighborhood does not have a huge role in that. However, as county supervisor, one of the things I think I'm known for is neighborhood cleanup. We also have partnered with MPD to do graffiti cleanup. And so we're working on that. But as a county, we actually went to the state and asked them for additional funds because areas like Walker Square neighborhood complain about the garbage on the freeways. Well, we get paid one time a year from the state to clean up garbage on the freeway, but it's a constant issue. So Milwaukee County, it's what we call an unfunded mandate. So Milwaukee County continually picks up those areas. However, we are not paid to do that after the first time that we do it. But again, it's a quality of life issue. And I know that as I exit Beecher, to go home at the end of the day, I want to see it look nice. I want for people driving into our neighborhood to think, wow, this is really, really nice. And so we have done freeway cleanups. They're a little harder to organize because of the safety factor, but we have done several of those. In fact, Jim Wakowiak and Alderman Perez have helped me in the past to organize those because as you're coming off the freeway, that area belongs to the state, but the city and the county are both accepting responsibility for cleaning it.
Thank you. This issue is more personal reflection and touching on sort of your personal growth. What would you do differently moving forward than you have done in the past in serving the community?
Yes, I'm starting.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm always trying to move and to grow and to find different areas to work in. This past 2 years, I've become very involved and co-founded an organization called Milwaukee Heroin Diaries to address the opioid issue that's going on in our community. It's a crisis. It's something that's personally affected me and my family, and so homelessness is another issue that when I started in 2004, if you would have told me I was going to be a homeless advocate, I wouldn't have believed you. But here I am, and I see that there's so much work that needs to be done around that. So we continually try to reinvent ourselves in regards to the issues that are important to the community. So one of the things that I definitely want to do better, I held 6 town hall meetings this year. We definitely can increase that. Want to make sure that we continually are talking to our neighbors. We have a lot of work that still needs to be done with the domes. And so, I'll just continue moving forward and trying to be the best representative I can be. I always try to listen to my district and to address the issues that are most important to them.
That's right. Woohoo!
Well, I've done a lot of different projects in my life and worked in different organizations and volunteer work for this community. So I'm very, humbly proud of the work I've done because I've done it from the heart. I did it because I cared. And I worked with other people, and I did it in a respectful manner to the most important issues in our community. But if I could say if there's something that I could, I think I would have said I would in the past before, listen more. Because you learn so much from the people. That's who I learn everything from, is the people in my district. and those are the voices that matter the most to me. Thank you.
Okay, starting with Sylvia. How can the county support resident associations for the neighbors bordering each park, support